Have you ever played a game that, well, on the surface, it feels like this really brutal, realistic tactical shooter, but then it's slowly, almost without you noticing at first, it pulls you into this huge kind of sprawling, deeply unsettling conspiracy, just lurking right underneath.
Well, welcome to the deep dive. And today, yeah, we're diving deep into the world of Ready or Not. And like you said, this isn't just about the intense SWAT gameplay, which is, very well done. It's really about digging out those surprising, often pretty disturbing nuggets of knowledge from its hidden lore.
Exactly. So our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut, a way to understand the pretty shocking narrative, the really immersive world building,
Yeah.
and honestly, the unsettling questions this game asks you, the player. And it's based on all this great source material you've looked into.
Right. And what makes it kind of unique, I think, is how you, playing as Judge, that's your character, the SWAT team leader, you actually uncover a lot of this deeper story through, like, really meticulous gameplay, getting those S-rank mission completions, finding hidden evidence. It actually demands you be thorough.
Yeah, it rewards that deep engagement.
Absolutely. What's fascinating here is how the game's core mechanics, they're actually designed to pull you deeper into the story. The realism isn't just, in the shooting mechanics or the ballistics, it's woven into the environment, and it directly rewards that thoroughness with story insights. You're not just clearing rooms, you're investigating, almost like a detective.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. Because that attention to detail, it's clear right from the very beginning. Even that first mission, thank you, come again, it sets a surprisingly heavy tone. Right away, it signals this isn't your typical arcade shooter.
Not at all. You load in, and almost immediately there's a dead homeless man at the gas station. It's a brutal, immediate consequence of the robbery you're there to stop. And the game subtly introduces this idea that, hey, intel isn't always right. Things aren't always what they seem.
And that opening scene, it feels deliberate, doesn't it? Like it's
Yeah.
not just a random detail.
Oh, definitely. It's clearly tied to this wider picture of a city just on the brink. Los Sueños, which is the game's version of LA, essentially. It's shown as a place already decaying. You see these signs of societal distress everywhere. Constant protests, piles of garbage, a really visible homeless crisis.
Yeah, I noticed that even the police cars have those cages in the back.
Exactly. That detail, the cages, it suggests a city really struggling just to maintain basic order. And then there's that chilling little detail about the 52nd U.S. president in 2025. It implies a much rockier, more tumultuous political landscape than maybe our own. The game really wants you to feel the weight of this collapsing society. It's palpable.
And that level of uncompromising realism, it gets even more intense and, frankly, a little uncomfortable as you go deeper. The game really doesn't shy away from drawing on explicit real-world tragedies. It embeds them right into the narrative.
Yeah, goes there.
Take the Neon Tomb mission. That's the terrorist attack on the nightclub. And the similarities to the 2016 Pulse nightclub shooting and even aspects of the Christchurch live stream, they're striking, almost like direct parallel.
It's incredibly powerful, almost confrontational in how it depicts it. The game uses this horrifying authenticity. You hear the chilling 911 calls, you see the visual devastation, bodies piled up, doors chained shut.
Oh man, the chain doors.
Right, but what really sticks with you, and this was reported in real life after tragedies like Pulse, it's the detail of cell phones ringing. Coming from the pockets or bags of the deceased victims, it's a stark, visceral reminder of the human cost.
I remember playing that mission for the first time and just feeling completely floored. It's incredibly impactful. But then it gets even more complicated, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because of the game's mechanics.
Yeah.
That drive for the S ranks.
Right, the perfectionism.
Yeah. It often means you have to replay these levels. And that can create this really strange tension. Your initial, gut emotional reaction to the horror.
Yeah.
You can start clashing with the metagame goals. You might find yourself optimizing routes, focusing on score.
And potentially becoming a bit detached.
Exactly. Potentially leading to this sort of problematic detachment. You lose some of that initial emotional impact, maybe. It's weird.
That's a really fascinating point about how the game design itself influences player psychology. Does that pursuit of perfection within the game inadvertently desensitize you to the horrific scenes you're seeing over and over? It's subtle, but it's a significant layer the game adds.
And it doesn't let up either.
No, not at all. The very next mission, Relapse, the hospital attack, it's an immediate follow-up to Neon Tomb.
Yeah.
It just reinforces that constant brutality. And it highlights the game's deliberate choice to imply rather than explicitly show certain horrors,
Yeah.
like child victims.
Right, the bombs in the pediatric wing.
Yeah, exactly. They don't show children harm directly, but the implication is there, and sometimes that suggestion is even more disturbing than seeing it outright.
So beyond these immediate, like, visceral horrors of the city, this is where a more sinister, overarching conspiracy really starts to unfold, isn't it? It starts pulling you into something much larger than just individual crime scenes.
It does. It starts subtly, maybe with the Carriers of the Vine mission. That's the cult raid.
Yeah.
And there you encounter Elaine Rassin. She's a former USIA agent. USIA is the game's CIA equivalent, basically.
Okay.
And she's leading this strange Medusa-themed cult, mostly abused women. And they kidnap and torture men accused of being sexual predators. So right away, the game presents this complex moral ambiguity. You're not just dealing with straightforward villains.
It's murky from the start.
Very murky. And this isn't just a one-off weird cult, it connects. The first major lore revelation comes in A Lethal Obsession at Gerard Scott's house. Gerard is another former USIA agent, and you find him in this, well, truly madman state. He's rambling about something called the Mariposa Lily Organization, the MLO.
MLO, okay.
And a program that sounds terrifyingly similar to our real-world MKUltra, the CIA's mind control experiments. He's talking about hallucinogens, disturbing mind experiments. It strongly suggests this darker experimental branch of the intelligence agencies in this world, and maybe they're influencing everything you're seeing.
And Gerard himself, the state you find him in. He's naked, right? And completely obsessed with Judge, with you, the player character.
Yes. That's the crucial, deeply unsettling part. His specific obsession with Judge, both the source material and the evidence you find in the game, strongly imply that Judge is Gemma 1, some kind of super soldier or maybe an engineered operative.
So the implication is that you, the player character, are unnervingly calm, maybe too capable amidst all this brutality and chaos.
Precisely. You're almost unfazed, which makes sense if you were designed or conditioned for it.
Wow. So what does that mean? It completely flips your understanding of the game, right? You, the player, you might not just be a SWAT team leader trying to do good. You could actually be a product of the very conspiracy you're starting to unravel.
Exactly. It's not just a plot twist. It's this chilling inversion of player agency. It forces you to question, are you really a hero, a force for good? Or are you just a pawn? Or worse, maybe even a tool, a product of this whole shadowy system. It makes you, the player, feel deeply complicit.
Yeah, that's heavy. And the genius of the narrative seems to be how these seemingly unconnected missions start feeding into this bigger, darker world. They reveal layers of crime and corruption, all linked by some kind of shadowy network.
That's right. Take Twisted Nerve, for example, the meth house and tunnels mission.
Right, with the tunnels.
Yeah. On the surface, it showcases Los Sueños' extreme urban decay. Garbage everywhere, rundown buildings. Characters are having these horrifying drug-induced visions. But then you discover that hidden tunnel system under the city, and that hints at a much larger criminal operation, something way beyond just a simple meth lab.
So even missions that seem more straightforward have these deeper layers.
Exactly. Even ones that might seem standalone, like Ends of the Earth, the Tran Brothers case, that one's actually quite sympathetic. It's driven by crippling medical debt, which is a tragedy in itself, but it still highlights the sheer desperation of people in Los Sueños, the societal factors pushing people towards crime. It adds to that overall picture of decay.
But maybe the most disturbing thread, the one that really connects multiple missions, is that huge child exploitation ring you slowly uncover.
Ugh, yes. That is incredibly dark. Missions like 23 megabytes a second where you're swatting a streamer.
Yeah.
Then The Spider, which involves the talent agency, and Valley of the Dolls at the porn director's house. They all combine to expose this horrifying network.
And there are crews linking them, right?
Yes, that's what's fascinating, or maybe horrifying, about the world building. The game takes these crimes that seem separate and meticulously weaves them together. You start noticing a recurring spider symbol across these different locations.
Oh, the spider symbol.
It links everything, the data hosting, the talent agency, the actual trafficking, to this singular awful network. And the discoveries you make, they're truly unsettling. Descriptions of, like, Amos Foles' basement, finding barrels, children's clothes, a cement mixer. It just underscores the chilling depths of depravity. It leaves you feeling properly sickened. Okay,
so all these dark threads, they're all leading somewhere. They converge and lead to this really shocking, morally ambiguous climax in the game's final missions. That's where the true scale of the horror becomes undeniable.
Absolutely. Buy cheap, buy twice at the car dealership, and then hide and seek down at Port Hoken. They feel like the culmination, The gameplay itself escalates, it becomes full-scale combat, and you're directly engaging with what's clearly a multinational human trafficking operation.
And hide and seek has that moment.
Yeah.
Probably the most disturbing one.
Oh, yeah. The shipping container. You find these emaciated, naked women locked inside. It's horrific. But what's truly gut-wrenching, what makes it stick with you, is the order you get afterward.
From the FISA agent, right?
Yes, a FISA agent representing the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act agency. Their presence there is already unsettling, suggesting national security involvement, and this agent orders you, flat out, to shut the doors. Leave the women there for a federal investigation.
Just leave them.
Just leave them. And it raises this profound question. What does it mean when the supposed forces of good, or at least, authority, prioritize an investigation, maybe political expediency, over immediate, desperate human suffering right in front of you?
It's such a stark, uncomfortable choice the game forces on you.
Yeah.
And the way the game mechanically handles it actually gives you S rank points, 50 points a lot, for complying with that order.
Which is just...
Yeah. It creates this intense internal conflict for you, the player. Do you follow the order, get the points, maybe serve some abstract greater good of the investigation?
Right.
Or do you defy it based on the immediate, palpable human cost right there? It really makes you think.
It absolutely does. And the horror doesn't even stop there. Later in that same mission, hide and seek, you find a hidden option block.
Yeah.
It's got mannequins, symbols. It indicates this higher echelon, maybe even ritualistic aspect to the trafficking. It pushes the depravity beyond just crime into something truly monstrous.
So zooming back out then, how does this all tie back to that bigger conspiracy, the MLO and the USIA?
Well, when you connect those final mission horrors back to the Mariposa Lily organization and the USIA conspiracy, the pieces become even more unsettling. Remember Gerard Scott. In the hints about Judge, you later discover in a secret room in the LSPD that Judge, you are being continuously monitored.
They're watching you.
They're watching you. And the prevailing theory, pieced together from all the lore, is that the chaos in Los Sueños, it might be deliberate, maybe it's the result of USIA experiments gone wrong, or maybe even an intentional cleansing of the city, preparing it for some kind of rebirth.
A rebirth, like the butterfly thing.
Exactly, symbolized by the MLO's butterfly motif, the Mariposa lily. And the final mission takes place during a hurricane, adding to that cleansing vibe. So Judge, in this context, becomes this unwitting instrument, maybe even a monster they unleashed, complicit in the chaos just by operating within it, perhaps exactly as designed.
Wow. Okay, so there you have it. That was quite the deep dive into Ready or Not's hidden lore. It genuinely transforms the game from, a very solid tactical shooter into something much more profound, a really unsettling narrative experience that constantly asks you to look closer, to question everything.
Yeah, the game never explicitly tells you what to think. It doesn't give easy answers. But it masterfully forces you to confront the real cost of order and the messy, complex, often morally ambiguous reality of trying to fix a broken world. And it leaves you with questions like, what responsibility do you take as a player when you engage with these unflinching narratives, both in games and maybe in life? It definitely gives you a lot to mull over.
It absolutely does. If you're looking for a game that offers that kind of unique impact storytelling that goes way beyond just the admittedly gripping gameplay,
Yeah.
you really should experience this depth for yourself.